I could walk into a situation and a person could be screaming and crying at me, and in my mind I just accept that they're crying, I understand that they're crying, but I kind of just like block out any emotional response back to that person. I disassociate myself with the trauma or the emotional aspect of the job, and I find that I do that on nearly every call. I would describe myself as Dill. That's what most people know me as. I am a paramedic. Why did I decide to become a paramedic? That goes back years and probably has like a psychological reasoning that I myself don't even understand. But I've always wanted to be a hero. I don't know. I wanted to help people. But I would say that my main reason for becoming a paramedic was to help people, was to make a difference and feel as if I am making a difference, that something good is coming out of my existence.
I always told him to be a doctor, right? Then he said, Mom, be a doctor. He said, so boring. It's no life, right? He always tell him, there's no life to live. Then I need to be like a fun job. As a paramedic is of my fun job.
I was always supportive about it. I actually met him when he was in the process of becoming a paramedic. So I was always so happy because I knew he wanted to save lives and to be on the road and help other people.
What does the uniform mean to me?
Yeah.
It's a symbol of help. When people see you, people almost are comforted by the fact that someone is coming to take control of the situation. So I almost feel like putting the uniform on, I have this sense of authority to help people and to alleviate people's concerns. I feel people trust me. People put trust in us. The hardest part of my job would probably be dealing with the things that I encounter in my job. So it could be anything. Anything that strikes a trigger in myself, anything that I bring home with me and I get upset about. It's not even doing the call itself. That is almost that's almost, I would say, as a paramedic, it's in us and we already know what to do. It's more going home after seeing what we've seen or experiencing what we've experienced. I don't know. I can't say. I have no idea. I don't know if tomorrow is the day that I experience that one call that'll send me over the edge and create this acute stress that eventually leads to post-traumatic stress. I don't know. We never know. And I think we take for granted how fragile our minds actually are. And maybe paramedics, maybe the reason why it's so high in paramedics is that we're all just really fragile now after everything we've experienced.
That's one of the things that PTSD is. So it's one traumatic event, and it could get worse when it's overlapping another one and another one.
Most paramedics tend to forget their calls. A lot of the times after shift, I can't even remember the first call that I did. It's like, what did I do today? Was that yesterday? Was that a week ago? I can't remember. You do so many calls, right? But one does stick out in my mind as a terrible, kind of bloody call that kind of imprinted on my mind. And I remember I was working with the newer guy. I think it was like his second shift. And we drove there, lights and sirens. We got there. Right as we pulled in there, right as I remember I pulled it into park and I read the details. It said, patient is VSA, has cut her own throat. So I remember going in there with the bags, walking up the stairs and stepping into the room, and there was a girl. She must have been mid-20s, maybe up towards to her 30s. But she was laying there face first in a pool of blood, giant pool of blood. Let's say a couple liters of blood. There's tons of blood there. I remember just looking around and thinking, where am I gonna put my bags? Like, where am I gonna put the bags, like, to have access to them? There's like blood everywhere. It almost seemed as if she was like running around the room while she was bleeding. We found slashes underneath both of her knees and also on her neck. So, and there was a broken shard of glass on the ground, also a knife on the ground. So it just kind of seems like she used multiple weapons to inflict these damages to herself. Yeah, after that, I remember we were there, and then the advanced cares came, and we continued the arrest until the very end, and it eventually became a pronouncement. So, patient was declared dead right there, and we left. And I remember cleaning my boots because my boots were very bloody, and the bottom, the weirdest, it was so odd because the bottom of my pant legs were soaked in blood. There was no blood anywhere else but my boots, but the bottom of my pant legs, because every time we stepped on the blood would splash up onto our pant legs. After that, went about our day, continued doing calls. I remember after that day I went home, and that image of that girl always stuck in my mind. It's just, maybe she reminded me of my own friends because she had all these stuffed animals everywhere. She looked like she had a great life based on her room, and it just was kind of hard for me to accept that she killed herself. And the night after that call, I still saw that image in my mind, and I know I stayed up longer than I should have. I had a shift the next day, and I stayed up for hours just trying to fall asleep with that image still in my mind.
The Canadian Health Association predicted by 2030 stress or depression or that comes with PTSD and trauma, it's going to be the second illness that will kill Canadians after a heart attack. So you need to seek attention because in the long run it is a concern about health and life or death. If you can see PTSD as a mental illness, and depends on the traumatic event, and obviously depends on the person as well, but if it takes 2 years to show these symptoms of traumatic event, how long do you think it's going to take to bounce up back, right? So it's not a magic pill. There's not a magic number.
In my opinion, we're all a very stubborn, headstrong group of people. We always want to tell ourselves that we can handle it ourselves, that we work with just a partner. Like we don't work with a huge, most of the time we don't work with a huge team of people. We're not firefighters who have a team of so many people with us. We're 2 people who go into a call, and yeah, we take charge. And I think it's kind of difficult for us to give up that control and say that we don't have that control and go ask for help. We don't like doing that. We're stubborn. We're stubborn people. I would say most of us are stubborn. Yeah. But I would say that's probably why the stigma exists. We're trained to deal with situations on our own. That's our job. That's what we did in school. That's what we do on the job. That's what we have been trained to do, is deal with situations by ourselves. Even if we don't have a partner, how do we deal with that situation? And that's probably why this stigma exists.
See, always like accidents and death and bodies, and you can't guarantee that, right? We don't know, right? One moment will come, it will change. But right now, still he's okay. So future, I don't know. If he reached to that point, maybe he has to give up.
My biggest, no, I wouldn't call it fear, But my biggest concern is that I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on that one call that is gonna change him and the way he thinks forever. That is gonna traumatize him. It hasn't happened yet, but I know it will. And that's my biggest fear about Delshawn, that I haven't even told him. So.
It worries me because something needs to be done. I'm not the best person to give a response about what should be done or how to change this, but perhaps even just awareness. Awareness is probably the first step that we need, is to actually, I don't want to say diagnose, but just acknowledge that these people who are out there every day doing what they do are going to bring this stuff home and it is going to affect their lives. They are going to be sad. They are going to do things irrational sometimes. It happens. Maybe something could change. Maybe programs could be set in place. Maybe lots of things. I'm not the best person to answer that, but hopefully there are changes. Hopefully there is more awareness into what we do and what we see. I don't think people understand what we actually see. I don't think people understand how much abuse we actually take on a daily basis. Am I happy? I'm happy. My name actually means happy. I guess. Yeah, I'm happy. I have a great family. I got a great girlfriend. I got a great job that I enjoy. I've got great hobbies. I would say I'm happy. Am I gonna be happy forever? Maybe, maybe not. Am I happy every day? No. Do I think I fulfilled my need to be a hero? To be someone that helps people? Do I feel like I fulfilled that need? I'm hungry for more.